Hey there, Speedy. You said that you wanted to understand phenomenology better. So here it is, presented as clearly as I can manage in under 20 minutes. Ready? Let's go. First things first, what does the word phenomenology even mean? Phenomenology is a fancy word for the study of phenomena, which just means the study of appearances or things as they appear. It's derived from the Greek word phenomenon, meaning that which appears. So when we talk about the philosophy of phenomenology, we're talking about a particular way of doing philosophy, a sort of philosophical therapy for understanding how things appear to us so that we can try to get at some deeper understanding of them. You see, there are many ways that we can talk about and think about things. We can talk about the physical properties of things, like their chemical composition, their shape, size, mass, texture, color, smell, taste, and other such things. But we can also talk about things based on how these properties appear to us, and this is where phenomenology comes in. Phenomenologists are interested in the structures of experience and consciousness, meaning how things appear to us and what that tells us about the world and ourselves. This includes our perception of the physical properties of things, but it also includes our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and even our bodily experiences. Now, why would anyone want to study how things appear instead of just studying the things themselves? Well, it's because it turns out that our experience of the world is often quite different from the world as it really is. For example, you may have had the experience of staring at a computer screen for a long time, say while editing a video, and then looking away and seeing an afterimage of what you were looking at. Now, what's going on here? Well, it seems like there is something in the world that is causing an image to be imprinted on my retinas, and that causes me to perceive something when I look at the screen. And when I look away, my brain continues to receive signals from my eyes telling it that there's still something there, so it continues to show me that thing. But when I look back at the screen, I don't actually see that thing anymore. So what happened? Did it vanish into thin air? No, it's still there. It's still bouncing off my retinas, sending signals to my brain. My brain is still receiving those signals, but I'm no longer perceiving it. What does that tell us about the nature of perception? It tells us that what we perceive is not simply a copy of the world, but it's a construction that our brains make based on the information that they receive. Our experience of the world is a kind of interpretation that our brains make based on the evidence that they have available. And that's just one example. There are lots more that we could consider. Consider the fact that if I'm over here and I turn around and look at you, you're going to appear behind me. If I turn around and look at my computer, it'll appear in front of me. And yet both of these things are actually over here. The way that things appear to us depends on where we are and what we're doing. So our experience of the world is also a function of our perspective. Now, phenomenologists aren't just interested in the way that things appear to us as individuals. They're also interested in the way that things appear to different people in different cultures. What does it mean for something to appear as a chair? How does that compare to what it means for something to appear as a table or a dog or a human being? What do all these concepts have in common? What makes them possible? This is the sort of thing that phenomenologists try to answer. So phenomenology isn't just about individual experience. It is also about how we use language and concepts and how we interact with other people and the world around us. In other words, phenomenology is about understanding how things appear to us so that we can better understand ourselves and the world that we live in. And that's why it's sometimes called the philosophy of experience. It is a way of doing philosophy that starts with our experience and tries to work its way back to a deeper understanding of reality. One of the most influential phenomenologists was a guy named Edmund Husserl, who lived from 1859 to 1938. He is considered to be the founder of phenomenology as an independent philosophical discipline. Husserl was trying to solve a problem that has been plaguing philosophers since the ancient Greeks, namely, how can we know anything at all? We obviously can't know things directly. All we can ever know is our experience of things. So the question is, how do we get from our experience of things to knowledge of things themselves? Well, Husserl thought that we start with our experience of things and ask what they're like. What's it like to experience this thing? What features does this experience have? Does it have any parts? Can it be broken down into simpler experiences? What relations hold between different experiences? And once we've carefully and systematically described the experience itself, we then ask what sorts of things could possibly cause this kind of experience. Could it be caused by a physical object? Could it be caused by a mental state? Could it be caused by a hallucination? Once we figure out what it's like to experience this thing, we can start to narrow down the possibilities until we arrive at the best explanation for the experience. Now, phenomenology is supposed to be neutral with respect to metaphysical questions like what's real or what exists. The goal of phenomenology is to describe the structure of experience and leave open what that experience might be caused by. But that doesn't mean that phenomenologists don't have metaphysical views themselves. Husserl, for example, believed that the objects that we experience are mental constructs, they're ideal objects. That is to say, he thought that the only things that we can be sure exist are our own minds and the conscious states that we have. Physical objects, he thought, are constructs that we make out of our experiences. Another influential phenomenologist was Maurice Merleau-Ponty, who lived from 1908 to 1961. Merleau-Ponty thought that our experience of the world isn't just a passive reception of information. It's also an active engagement with the world. We don't just see things, we reach out and touch them. We don't just hear sounds, we make sounds ourselves and listen to the echoes. When we explore the world with our senses, we learn about the world and ourselves at the same time. We learn about the properties of things, but we also learn about how our bodies work and what we're capable of doing. Merleau-Ponty also believed that our experience of space and time is intertwined with our experience of our body. Our body is our point of view on the world, and that means that our experience of the world is always going to be embodied and situated. We can't step outside of our bodies and view the world objectively. Our experience of the world is always going to be colored by our perspective. Finally, let me mention that phenomenology isn't just a thing that happens in the past. It's alive and well today. One current area of phenomenological research is in the philosophy of mind, where phenomenologists are trying to understand the nature of consciousness and subjective experience. Another area where phenomenology is alive and well is in the philosophy of art, where phenomenologists are trying to understand how works of art affect us and what that tells us about ourselves and the world. So that's phenomenology in a nutshell. I hope it helped. And remember, if you want to help us grow, you can subscribe to the channel, write a good review, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. See ya.